Hi, everybody.
Oh, hello.
Oh, we didn't see you there.
Tom and I were just hanging out in my new studio.
Yeah. We did a little test run. Thank you to the analysts and advisors who were helping us with that.
Yes. So we actually recorded just basically another version of what we're doing now. And as you can see, I, via my iPhone and a little iPhone app that I just purchased, I can now switch between my two RevelCams. So that's Tom and me, both of us together. And then I've got Tom over on this guy as a little single. I haven't set up a single of myself, but I could do that on
the top.
The Logitech, which is actually gives us
a
very good signal.
Cross signals with a Y.
Yeah.
All kinds of stuff you can do.
And what's neat about the video switcher that I know you guys can't see, but I did do a quick tour on Facebook the other day. Of course, I used portrait video. I'm sorry about that. I didn't even think about it.
What are you gonna do?
Such a rookie move. I don't do a lot of video, to be honest, from my phone anyway. But anyway, yeah, you can't see the switcher. But what's nice is that both of these cameras use an input called I always get this wrong, HGSDI.
SDI, yeah.
Yeah, and so that's whatever. There's like 4 of those inputs that are capable on the switcher, and then there's 4 other HDMI inputs, which would include laptops, variety of cameras. So it's like we're not in a very big room. This is
impressive.
But
this room looks huge. I know, and don't forget about the lighting. Lighting is yet to come.
Oh yeah, the lighting. There is no lighting. It's we're getting blasted by the.
So don't worry about
the sunset.
That's the next step.
Wait, no, you don't like Tom being lit in a very kind of dramatic fashion, such as this?
So tell me. Yeah, I'm not even sure what that is. Oh look, I can reflect my phone screen.
Woo-hoo. Yeah.
All right, TG Glass 1976 has tuned in. He'll let us know. Audio
1976 was a good year.
It was.
It was.
It was an all right year.
Also, just off camera are both of my cats. They're being pretty cool right now, but they will probably try to crash the party in here from time to time. So if you like cats, you'll love it. And if you don't, then you can hate watch the whole experience. It's kind of my life anyway. But yeah, so before we started recording, Tom, we were talking about just some different options for something like this. Right now, I'm working with a set that needs to be turned into something.
Yeah, it's just getting.
But this is like furniture that I could just sort of take out of a corner of my house and kind of cobble together. It's like didn't take much.
No, this is just okay. The equipment is stuff that you got from a friend who was getting rid of a studio, kind of breaking stuff down.
Yeah,
so that was good happenstance.
Yes.
But then the furniture and the decor, which honestly looks better than a lot of news sets I've seen for interview shows.
I mean,
just stuff you had around, right?
This chest is like something that my dad bought during the Vietnam War in Hong Kong and like got shipped to my grandma, and somehow I have it now. And so this is our set.
So it sounds like we're getting a little clipping when we get loud.
Okay. Yeah.
But normal speaking volume is fine.
Okay, good.
So just don't get too excited.
So don't get too excited. All right. Fine.
But yeah, no, we're working out the kinks, so we appreciate the help.
Yes, absolutely. And yeah, I'm not really sure why. There might be some internal.
There's a lot of things going on. So the Sennheiser
lavaliers, that we're wearing
through the receiver over there.
Yep.
And then through the Blackmagic into the laptop, which is also, or I'm sorry, no.
Into the mixer.
No, they're going in the mixer. The mixer is going in the laptop.
Yeah.
And then the laptop's going out to Hangout. So there's all kinds of little parts of the chain.
It's so crazy. I was actually on I have this is off camera too. Well, actually, I could show you the box.
All right. To the box.
To the box. I would call it an unboxing, but it's
Scarlet, yeah.
Yeah. So this guy,
the focus right.
Yeah, it's here, Tom. Maybe you could do a little beauty shot.
T-Glass says, "Be like BBC News and leave the emotion out of it."
Emotion.
And then our audio will be fine.
Oh, I see. Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Well, now this doesn't want to work. So great.
Oh, really? The switcher stopped working?
Well, let's see if I could just There we go.
But I have such a
Yep. There we go. Yeah. So I've got this like handy little iOS app that lets me. I mean, obviously I'm switching. You can tell that I'm doing it. But if I kind of do it like just like real discreet, woo. Anyway, okay. So that is actually what Tom is holding right now. Yeah, that's more or less. It's like an external sound card. I guess you can think of it as.
Totally.
What's nice about it is that because I'm doing this other podcast, totally unrelated to this, and I'll definitely talk more about it when we're ready to
Wireless mic.
to do so. Yeah, you just walk around. But yeah, so that I was on a phone call with tech support yesterday for almost 2 hours.
Wow.
And we finally pinpointed the problem. We went through everything. I mean, we were deleting files I didn't know OS 10 had. It was on my non-Windows machine. And it was a faulty USB cable.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Figured it out.
Yeah.
Found the
It's
problem.
always something like that
Found
too.
the
Where you're like,
problem. Yeah.
what could it be?
Yeah. So
We're
anyway.
on Windows right now, by the way,
We are.
in case you're wondering.
Yes. Yeah. So anybody who calls me an Apple shill, I kind of am, but
It's not a shill.
I use
Liking a product
a
is not the same as shilling and
That-
getting paid by the company.
well, that's very true. But I I like all platforms
Yeah.
as long as they do the job.
This one's doing the job pretty good.
Doing the job pretty good. Yeah, it's great. So our Patreon push is also doing great.
Oh my God. Yeah. I can't believe just how good it's been. I mean, fingers crossed that we get this done by October 1st, but it's looking really good right now. We're 90% from 0 to the milestone. We're at 90%.
Yeah.
And we're more than 50% of where we were to the goal.
Correct. I don't know if you guys can hear that helicopter outside, but I live
They're coming for us.
I live in
Back the Patreon. Help!
Help us. We're locked in my studio, hiding from the feds. No, that's a whole. So you guys, another thing you can't see. I was thinking actually of doing like a little beach cam out the window because it's like it's gonna just be loud down here sometimes, and if people can put the two together,
just
then
marry
it's
it
more
up and
forgiving.
it's not sound.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just sort of fun. You know, I've got a little beach view, but the Coast Guard and LAPD, they do sweeps. You just get used to helicopters
I saw the
around
president
here.
fly down the beach one time. I mean, I didn't see him, but it was
How did you know it was his
because
helicopter?
it was the presidential copter. I mean, he probably wasn't in it. They're probably dummy copters.
Is there
and
an
all that,
Air Force One copter? I don't know about.
It's not called Air Force One, but yeah, it's a official presidential copter. That's pretty cool.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So yeah, thanks to everybody who has contributed, whether you're a first-time contributor, and I know a lot of you are because you've been tweeting at us and just giving us a lot of feedback, and thanks so much. Or the patrons who have just been loyal already and have upped their contribution. That's amazing.
Yeah, you guys are the best.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the essential phone. It wants you to know it's still here.
Why would the essential phone want to be like, I'm still here?
There's motion in my dining room. That's why.
Oh, it's a notification.
In other words, Sawyer's walking around.
Well, let's hope so. Sawyer's a dog. You guys all know that.
You could see him right now.
So yeah, so thanks to everybody who's just contributed or spread the word and kind of retweeted us. And I do owe everybody sort of a longer. Well, I don't owe you anything. No, I would like to, sort of extrapolate a little bit on sort of the journey that got Tom and I to this point, because it's like, we didn't just sort of like wake up one day and say, hey, let's work together again. It's like, we've always kept in touch.
Oh yeah.
We've obviously worked together in the past. We've remained friends. We now live 10-minute drive from each other in Los Angeles, which is unheard of.
Yeah. Unplanned.
Just
happened.
Yeah. And so.
And actually, we were having breakfast with Eileen, my wife, which is when we first started to be like, oh, we should talk about collaborating.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
It was sort of a, let's of course do that. We're, not that we don't do things remotely fine. It doesn't totally matter that we're close together, but it does allow you to sit here right now without it being a huge drain on you or a flight. Or I
mean, most of the time I'm going to be in my studio doing DTNS. And by the way, this has really inspired me to change things up. So we were talking about that earlier. Yeah. About maybe like tweaking the shot once we hit the milestone goal.
Because you have this room, these cameras are really wide angle, so it's a little smoke and mirrors. This is a pretty narrow room. The room that you shoot DTNS out of is so you could, even if you go at an angle, you could gain some depth. I don't know.
See, this is what I get with Sarah joining the team.
Right.
Someone who actually knows how to do that. I mean, Roger knows how to do it too, but more people is better. More brains behind it.
It's also just fun to change things up.
Yeah.
The content itself, obviously, that's the point of the show. So, as long as that's solid, it's like,
Yeah.
you kind of get some new artwork going on in the background.
Sometimes I could be here. Sometimes you could be there.
Absolutely.
And we were even talking earlier about maybe even doing those roundtable shows here.
Yeah.
Because you've got multiple cameras and switcher.
Exactly.
With an actual round table.
Something that wouldn't be this. Unless you just kind of want to.
I don't know. This looks really good. I don't know why you keep apologizing.
No, it's just not round. It's a very non-round table.
Well, we could change it to a square table.
But yeah, something. And these cameras, unfortunately, I can't figure out through the iOS app. It might not be possible how to like pan and tilt, but they do that too remotely.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're really.
You did that from the laptop earlier. That's how you were setting. You weren't touching the camera.
Yeah, exactly.
When you set up the shot.
It seems to me that all I can do.
You can't zoom.
Is switch. Yeah. No, you're getting a real cool kind of like album cover look going on here. With the 80s kind of blind vibes. Blind, not that you're blind, but blinds on a window blinds. Yeah, so this is quite honestly a pretty simple setup. It's on one wall of the room. Everything's literally on one wall. To move a camera over on this side of the room, which is really just a wall I'm not using, to maybe like black out the window and really create a nice sort of warm studio in here. Another option.
Yeah. So lights are kind of your next thing.
Yeah.
And decor. Not that decor is bad, but
it's not bad. It's just it needs some color. It needs some love.
Right. It needs a little splash here and there.
I've lived in this apartment for a year and a half, and this room has been kind of mostly storage or I never really did anything with it. I didn't want to make it a guest room because then people stay with you.
That's
you don't want to do that. You just make it a studio, and then everyone goes, "Ooh, it looks complicated. I won't get in your way." And then
no, it's funny when we have had like relatives stay and have to sleep downstairs. They get a little freaked out because downstairs is where my studio stuff is.
Oh, right.
Like,
yeah.
Oh, I don't want to touch anything. I don't want to ruin anything.
Right. Yeah. No, I'm kidding. People can stay with me.
Come on.
You can still stay with me. Come on. I got a couch.
Marine One, by the way. Marine One is the name of the helicopter.
Oh.
T-Glass said.
Marine?
Yeah.
Like MARINE. Oh, okay. Well, there you have it. The hive mind delivers.
Mm-hmm.
So what else do we have to talk about, Tom?
We've
covered most of the stuff we can cover from here. We took a few pictures of the setup. So Tom, maybe you could
So we got the Panasonic Robo cameras we talked about.
I got two of those.
We've got the Blackmagic switcher, which is what you're controlling remotely there.
Yeah.
You got the Sennheiser wireless mics that we're using right now,
which we're both wearing,
and the preamp, and then you got your Yamaha mixer.
Yep.
And that's pretty much everything. There, I mean, your Heil mic's hooked up. We're not using it right now.
Yeah. But that's what I'll use for DTNS because it's the best mic I have.
Yeah.
And it's just sort of a delight.
You just wear the wireless mic and sit back here.
Yeah, just chill.
Have some coffee.
Have my coffee. Like I'm doing right now.
Just look on your phone. Be like, oh, headlines. So.
Anyway. Hey, Luce, do you want to say hello? You're going to anyway. All right. Well, no, she doesn't want to. So yeah, cat cameos.
When did your cats get shy?
The cats have, it's been very interesting to watch them watch me go through kind of audio madness. Where like I descend into madness once a day, where there's a couple hours where I'm like, why doesn't this work? So they're just sort of like, wow, this room kind of was unused in more or less hours until very recently. So they don't know what to think.
So yeah, they're put out.
Right. But yeah, it's amazing what you can do when you, at least for me, I like figuring things out, and particularly with audio, but certainly with video and switchers and inputs and Google Hangouts and the whole thing. It's a chess game every time, like trying to figure out.
I like figuring
how
things
you get
out.
to the. Yeah.
I like my things that I use to figure things out to just work. That's when
well, so do I.
That's why I have such a simple setup.
But it doesn't ever work that way.
I don't want to have to mess with it.
Well, I don't want to have to mess with it in a perfect world. But,
no, I know.
But knowing that it works and trying to figure out how to get there, I mean, there's quite quite a bit of daisy chaining going on, but it's a nice, fun new project. I haven't been this into audio since I bought my fancy speakers like 6 years ago, and also descended into madness for months on end.
Okay, I'm gonna get over dramatic now. I feel like we're on the cusp of something really cool, like a Cambrian explosion of creativity.
Well, sounds good to me.
Yeah.
Me too. Yeah,
because this is not just DTNS for you. This is also going to allow you to do other things.
Sure.
And likewise, it's not just bringing you onto DTNS for me. It also gives me flexibility to do other things. And you can do new things within DTNS that we couldn't do before.
Exactly.
It's just...
Yeah. There are a lot of show... a spin-off is probably not the right way to put it, but there are really cool things that are directly involved with the content of DTNS that we can just explore more in depth.
Daily Tech Headlines.
You can't do all of that yourself, but I can help you do that.
No, exactly. Because Daily Tech Headlines is an example of what you're talking about.
Yeah.
But that was me saying, I will do more. And in a weird way, it actually made it easier to do Daily Tech Headlines because I was trying to do Daily Tech Headlines within DTNS.
Yeah.
Which took away from some of the discussion time. So Daily Tech Headlines kind of took the pressure off of DTNS to say, hey, spend time discussing things on DTNS, Daily Tech Headlines would be that. And so, yeah, I think there's opportunities for that sort of thing to also branch out without weakening DTNS in any way, just letting it be good at what it's good at.
Yeah. And just let it breathe a little bit. Seeing what we can evolve out of.
Like a fine Cabernet.
Right. Sounds good, doesn't it?
Yeah, it
Too bad it's so hot outside. It's like red wine is just off the table for me right now. Living in LA, it's not much to complain about, except that I can't drink red wine, too hot.
Such a hard life.
Boo. But this is I'm excited to let's tear apart your studio and see what we can come up with.
All right.
Like I said, I had an expert for sure help me with my setup, but once you know how things work, you're like, oh yeah, that makes perfect sense. It's just when it's someone else's like rack, you go, oh, that looks very
because you don't know
complicated.
How the pieces fit together.
But they're not that many. They all make perfect sense. It's like, of course you need, the Sennheiser mics are going to have to talk to a certain unit, and the mixer and the laptop and everything else. So yeah, I think just for my own peace of mind, I've got a Windows solution that we're using now. Everything's running off of a laptop. And then I've got a MacBook Pro mobile solution for some podcasting I'm going to be doing from the road with you and I are just 2 mics, like 4 mics at a time. So it's a little bit more of like writing.
One of the other projects.
Yeah, exactly. So you gotta watch levels a little bit and make sure that your recording is solid. But so yeah, it's it's a whole new world.
I'm excited.
Me too.
I'm super excited.
Well, Tom, thank you for coming over.
Yes.
And
my pleasure.
Enjoying Studio 1.0. Let's call this 1.0, right?
Alpha.
It's a studio.
Beta. You could be beta.
I could.
Pre-release. Release candidate.
Yeah. It's Studio Beta. Yeah. Sarah's Studio Beta, SSB. It's a new input on my mixer. All right.
All right.
Bye, everyone.
Thanks, everybody. Goodbye. Stop the broadcast.
Stop the broadcast.